So hi everyone. So today we gonna continue on our neovim. Yeah. For that, let me change the title of the stream real quick. Okay. Changed that on Twitch. And let me change this also on YouTube. Okay. Because someone, or better say Justin, reviewed my PR, and from his comments, I don't think he sees like big issues with it in the current state. So I will continue on my PR because I was a little bit worried if like how I implemented and done stuff maybe did not align with the vision of neovim. So yeah, I'm glad there are no big issues, and I will try to continue and try to finish the PR. So there are things that I want to fix yet, and like this one, the possible lifetime issue, I will try to resolve it today, and then I want to continue on here the read one, the read command, X command, because I think I may use this in here, what he suggested, that this portion of code can be replaced maybe with some internal function or maybe X command or something like that. It could be that we can replace that stuff with read, and this is what I'm trying to do, and at least trying to explore. And the third thing he mentioned, I will do last, because I think that's the biggest one. Yeah, that's the current plan. Let's see. One thing I wanted also to do is to update link plugin before that, because there is a new release there. Lazy, right? Check for updates. Link. I can also update widget. when we are on it, we can just update a couple of plugins. Tree sitter, objects. Yep. Telescope. Replace deprecate the neovim error right line. That's fine. Its sign can be also updated. Lazy neovim. Lazy def. Lower line. Just let update everything. I think it looks fine. Okay, and then we are here, and let me see where it is. X commands 2, X commands 2, C, 5. It was 902. Oops. 102. Here. X2, X command. Maybe freed. And the new EA command may not expect that. X free clear. So I'm not too familiar with this one. Restore to empty when write failed. X free clear. Does this mean? Take the address to avoid double evaluation. Where do we have it? For more information, memory C. So let's find the file here. Memory C. Why it looked weird on my side here. Oh, okay, because it tried to open up the website. Okay, I get it. Okay, I could just here from memory see. Free wrapper that delegates to the backing memory manager. X free. There more info somewhere on that? Maybe on the help? Nope. No, let's search again. Some usages, and I'm trying to figure out how to use it and what it actually does. Let's search for X3, maybe X3, let's see. Yeah, it's a completely different thing, I guess. So free is a thread safe. It behaves as only accessing the memory locations visible through its argument and not any static storage. Deallocates the space previously allocated by malloc, calloc, or realloc. If pointer is a null pointer, the function does nothing. The behavior is undefined if the value of pointer does not equal a value returned earlier by... Okay. The function accepts and does nothing with the null pointer to reduce the amount of special casing. Whether allocation succeeds or not, the pointer returned by an allocation function can be passed to free. So again, we have P1 allocated, thread free. C alloc. C alloc, realloc. P3 not null means P2 was freed by realloc. Okay, I don't know, maybe I need to spend some time with the memory management of C. Behavior is undefined memory. Behavior is undefined if value of pointer does not equal a value returned earlier. So what was the suggestion then? Read the collected output. So I don't really get it. So also what's with the X name before the functions? The the why do some C functions have an X prefixed? For C functions often has this no special meaning. It's like a programmer's choice for naming conventions, like grouping variables related to the x-axis. However, some functions can also be identified by double underscore prefix. Okay, no special meaning. So I guess it's just to differentiate between the 3 that's kind of in the standard lib, right? And the X just meant to be something custom. So I think I will do it later on. I don't really get how to do that. Don't want to spend too much time on it currently, so try the next one. Okay, for this one I would need first to try to make this one work. And for this I already wrote a small function, a small unit test, a functional test. And yeah, this one is failing actually. We can search for command. Next command's C. I think this is the one. Read, no. So command C. Was this in command? No, I don't think so. Read. How was the other one? Oh yeah, they're called Vim. X commands 2. Do command. So X do command. This read. Yeah, no, X read. This is the one. Do bang. It passes the eep here. Use filter. Okay, I get it. So if we do this, then it passes it through. So do bang and then just, what's the first one here? Address count. Address count 0, address count bigger than 0. Back. So we use the read command. Check file name, read. Buffer line number. Lines to skip. Line from. Wait, the first one is file name. It's file name. And from line 2. Lines to skip 0. Lines to read. Max line number. Then the eep command. Flag silent. Current buffer. What's the f name? Full path file name allocated. Short file name allocated may be equal to f name. Okay. F name has the full path of the file. Null for no name. SF name is the name as the user typed it, or null. F name is the same as BSF name, unless CD has been done. And it is the same as BFF name, or null for no name. Okay. Arc is null. When there are no arguments, check file name, check for no file. Well, if there is no file name, or if there is one, give error message for fail. Wait. What are we looking at? The read command, right? And let me see what I was testing. It's completely different things here, but here, this one. Okay, this is a filter actually. So it does not read from a file. Before read command with filter. That's it. And then the other one would be command with file. Before read command reading from file. Okay. So actually we would be here. Address count. And that's kind of strange. We could again on other commands, if we don't define any range or address before it, right? We use parse command, and in the parse command we kind of set the default range or default address. So what we do here, if it's on 0, message scroll false, message scroll safe. That doesn't have anything to do with addresses. Find an embedded thing. Skip leading white space to avoid a strange error with some shells. On the arc. Only set previous command if there is a command to run, otherwise keep the one we have. Bang redo. Percentage or hashtag appears in a command, it must have been escaped. Re-escape them so that redoing them does not substitute them by the buffer name. Add quotes around command for shells that need them. Address count 0. Echo the command. Do shell new command. So we are having address count 1. So if we go here over, then this is skipped. Then we do the do. And the rest of the command for just replaced by the previous command. Explanation mark is replaced by backslash exclamation mark is replaced by exclamation mark. This is Y compatible. Okay. So if string length of new command is bigger than 0. Bang redo. So 3, 5. Starting from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could do just set the breakpoint and see. I want to see what's actually is inside heap here. So let's put the breakpoint here. Open the terminal. Make functional spec read command. A filter. Okay, this is it. So this passed in this, expected this. Okay, and for debugging, we need to add GDB 1. Now we can launch debug. Oh, not like that. Disconnect. Attach to neovim. So heap value so okay, this is wrong here then. like line starts on 3 and ends on 3, that's fine. But column is starting on 0. And column 2 is on 5. Why is that? So let's do a breakpoint here also. Do one command. Just go over here, back on the stack. Executes the command. We do one command. Executes one X command. The flex has do command verbose. The command will be included in the error message. Okay, this is execute NV colon normal do command line. So if we look here, so why don't we have anything here? Wait, sub EA. I was looking at the wrong one. So we need to look at sub EA here. 3.5. One command, so the address was not parsed yet, right? Here we would parse the command and get ranges, skip range. Parse command address, so here it would be EA. Parse command address. How would we determine actually the end of the range? if we don't define that here. What's the default? So here I would expect the default be so actually the same, maybe. So if I would execute something starting from line 3, column 5, so start and end ranges should be the same. Is this valid? So on this guy. So line here, get command default range, and depending on what we expect here, address positions. Default is to curse a line number, avoid using an invalid line number though. So position. But what would be the default for the columns? Address count place only. Here a row only here. So we have the line number. Yeah, it's kind of confusing name here, right? Get default range number for command based on its address type. Get command default range. Because what I was thinking when I was reading it, I thought it uses the information which command we try to execute to determine what the default range is. Because I think I read somewhere that the default addresses sometimes differ from command to command. Where was that? Only range. Command range. By default, user-defined commands do not accept a line number range. Oh, it's possible to specify that the command does take a range minus range attribute, or that it takes an arbitrary count value either in the line number position, like the split command, or as count argument, like the next command. The count will then be available in the argument with count. Okay. Default. Default is whole file. This one. Yeah, I think we need to experiment here. So for the get address. Visual area. Number 2. Number can't. Let's put breakpoint here also. Move on. So we try to do the test again, right? Touch the debugger. So now we are in the first iteration here, aren't we? So what's in the E command? Okay, so that's the wrong one. We are doing a menu here. So sometimes on the test setup or something, there are other commands triggered before the actual command from the test is triggered, and we get therefore on the breakpoint also hit. We can do here an eep command. Okay, and then let's just move on. There are sure better ways. For now, we will do it like this. Okay. So here we are. As a first iteration, we get locals address count int is 2. Why is address count 2? Weird. Address count, we have address count 1 here. Two. So line number and first column number is okay. so because we have here the column number, column number found, because after the dot we found the column number, right? We set it here to column 2 instead of 1. Like column 2. What do we have in column 2 actually? The column 2, 0. We should set it to 5. So actually we should do it the other way around, right? That will definitely break other tests. But maybe the idea that Justin mentioned here, to internally always consider columns, which was also initially my idea. My idea too, but I had some issues. I don't remember what it was exactly. I think it was just too many different cases that I initially found hard to reason about, and there were just too many changes in the code involved to do that. And I would need to define what the default values are. And in cases like this one, where we just provide one address, and we need then to find a way to set the second address, if it makes sense. Wait, what do we have here in EAP? Address count 0. So let's think. Here we could try out to set the column 1 if the address count is 1. So and heap address count is 1. And we would do it like this. And column 2 here. No, actually, no, it should be 0 here. So we don't set any address just now. The addresses were not found. No explicit addresses were found here. Then we do this, and when we found explicit addresses, we do this part. Just thinking if we should move this address count here at the top. Does this make sense? We want to do it differently here. Like, do we want to update the address count differently in this else branch? So maybe we just do it like this for now, and then we can refactor it. So it would mean if we are in address count 0 and here address count 1, which will, because we do to address count plus after this else branch here, 0 would be the first address that we're trying to set. And this here, if we trying to set the second address, which would be the end of the range, right? We should do this. Let's try this out. Okay. Here, without the debugging stuff. Okay, now with debugging. Remove the breakpoint here and set it maybe somewhere here. So what do we have in the eep here? Okay, nothing, because we are again here on this setup of the tests, where we run a couple of other commands before we run the actual command in the test. So read echo, here we are. So column would be 5, which is fine, and then nothing happened. Yeah, sure, because we do not set here anything. So on the second run, we should hit here, right? And what happens? Here, we don't have star, we don't have anything else here. So this would mean, for me, I would need to set the second column here already. Line number. So ML get buffer length. No, ML get length for the line number. In our case, line number this one, or e line 2. And we would override it when we get the second address, or a column for the second address also set. Right. So let's run the test. Let's see at the addresses that we get. After we parsed. So this was the one breakpoint. Let's remove this one. And now here at x2, no, not x2 command, and x read. Actually, here, right? Trying to use the filter. So let's do a breakpoint here, and then we just see if the range is set as we would expect it when it hits this x read command. So we are here. I would expect it to be line 3 and line 2 also on 3, column 1 starting on 5, and column 2 also starting on 5, which is kind of what I would expect it to be. Okay, now we do the bang command here. And we should land somewhere here. So here with the locals do in false. Yeah, actually. But let me see what do in would be. Nothing. An empty string actually, right? So yeah, actually that's right, because here do in means that we pass something to the command actually, and this is not the case. the new command. New command is echo abc, yeah. And the eep here is still like this. That's fine then. Address mode. Address mode. Let's see what we have in address mode here. Address mode line wise. Okay, that's wrong. So let's go back to our xdo command here on addresses. And whenever we hit this one, it means actually that address mode gonna be, how was this? Oh, come on. How to set address mode? KOM charwise. Charwise like this. Right, okay. Now we do it again. First without breakpoint or debugger. Now with debugger. Let's remove these breakpoints. Address mode line wise. Why it's line wise? So the address mode is somehow overridden. At a later point somewhere. So that's not it. Because here it's when we used percent char. address mode line-wise. When do we do this? This is also when we just do a visual area selection. It's again the same address mode here. Get address. So actually this should be set there then. Address mode. Should be set there. So actually here, back address mode. This is the one. Charwise. This one should be max column. So actually when we are here, this should be, if we say set the column number to the cursor's column number, then this one should be then charwise, right? And we have some other cases here. Position column. And if we set this one column, when search follows another address, start from there. Start the search just like for the above do search. Charwise. Not sure if this applies here. Address map line. Then we have a number and so on. Line. Here we say column number. Okay, so we set this to charwise here. One address given, set start and end lines. So there we override it. But we don't need to do this here. Really no address given. Line number is equal max line number. Okay, so let's try again here. So nothing changed from that point of view. Let's see what we have in the heap here. Make this one smaller. Mode, address mode, charwise. So, okay, now we have properly here to charwise. We say to bang, do filter here, still charwise. So we should not be hitting this one. Origin start, origin end. let's see what the values are here for this. Start, origin, end. Yeah, actually, because we did parsed the operation, like the start and end of the ranges parsed from the command itself, right? And this one is getting the operations from the buffer, like start of the operation and end of the operation. So move on here, we set the cursor. Current window. Why it's not here? Is it something global? Current window. Cursor. Let's see what's in there. Three and 5. It's okay. Change line operation cursor invalid. Bottom line. Validate bottom line. We're using temp file. We do not use temp file. In to out stuff. So do in would be false here. So do in would be false and do out is true. And what's with this stamp 0? Oh, we were here. So let's move on here. Current window cursor. Actually, it is already current window, the cursor column. That should be fine because we have it already on 5 and 3 column 5. Do out. Is true. Create shell command in allocated memory. New save. Okay, this is for undo. Read line count. Call the shell. Do out. So we should be somewhere here then. So and what we do here is automatically set the line number to line 2 plus 1. Because we try to append there, right? It should append lines mark, appended lines mark. So it actually marks lines like appended lines, but it just marks first. So this is actually like where we start to write to. Operation and cursor line number. And a strange where we set this one, because often it seemed that we set the cursor line number to line 2 also. So this would here actually mean that the end would be the same line 2 here effectively. Is it right? Don't want to change also too much here. They feel like would be set everything to maybe here line 1 at the line number for the end, and the column for the end should be like column 2. So effectively this would mean here and 1 line column 1, right? And here line 2, oops, and column 2. Read lines and insert into buffer. Ended lines. Line 2. And somewhere here we need to read also the output of the command. Right to in occurs on the first filtered line for range command. Right line number just. Old update occurs on the last new line for read command. Count. This one is count. Here's a line number. Column would be column. In else and I don't get where we actually write the output command, but I think it is handled directly where we call the shell. Pass on the shell opt to out flag when the output is being redirected. read line. And oh, shell. Here in the shell, SQL shell. I think here inside we know if we read the buffer to, okay, like this, read buffer into start. We remain compatible with the old implementation, which forked a process for writing. The entire text is copied to a temporary buffer before the event loop starts. If you don't, by writing the chunks returned by get, the buffer being modified might get modified by reading from the process. For finish writing. Okay, it's not loading. Write output. Okay, I thought just maybe that this comment was related also to here, this one, which is kind of is, but I think the right output is used here inside somewhere. Here it's used. Shall opt write lines from buffer. Oh, okay, that's different thing here. Read lines and insert into the buffer. Output pointer. Test this one. Still nothing. line number, operation start line number. And go back. So before we do this here, we should have set the operation start and end positions properly. To out. Let me do a breakpoint here and let's try it again. I guess it's because this operation start and end is not set here. We start just on the wrong line number. I think also this could lead to issues if I change it here. Other commands. Doop, 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 doop. Like this. Terminate. Okay. Again. So we're here. Fine. Can remove this breakpoint too. Okay, yeah, we are here and the current buffer operation start, operation end values, start and end. I was just thinking about the defaults here. Like if we do stuff like just reading here in, and I was thinking about the default address ranges. Like if I would do this here, which cases do we have where this may be wrong? And this actually means we need to look how we set the address ranges, right? And when I do the read here without specifying an explicit address, and when you think about handling of the addresses charwise and linewise, so if I would try to translate the default address here to a charwise address, sometimes for some commands it would mean that we need to select the whole line, right? So the column would be the column 1 would be 0 and the column 2 would be how many columns we have in this line, so the max column of this line. But there are other commands like this one, which expects actually, if it reads something, it reads after the current line. So it appends it after the current line. So if we would expect here that we select the whole line like this, and we would append to the end of it, would this work? Because like in many places we do a +1 on the last line number or at the end of the line. So line 2 + 1. We would select this and do it charwise. We would not do line 2 + 1, but say line 2, column 2, and try to write there. Right. Which actually would mean for us, we need maybe to check if the last or the end of the range is actually on the new line. So if we select the whole line like this, and line 2 and column 2 actually new line character, then we would do a +1 on line 2 and then append all the stuff there. If it's not, then we would write to the lines. So actually we would select something like this, or in the middle of the line, right? Would just right there. But what would it mean if I actually write stuff like this and this? Because when we do the read command, because read means actually we don't replace anything. It just reads stuff in after the first address here, right? But this e here already expects that we have a range, isn't it? Like line 1, line 2, column 1, column 2. Today, because now I think if everything can be expressed in ranges directly. I mean, yes, we could do like having a special range, which actually means it starts and ends on the same line and column. But it would also mean like this is actually just one address and not a range. So back to our example here. So either this should be disallowed, or this should actually mean these are two ranges. So because this command can actually not replace stuff, so the ranges should be always like starting and ending on the same line and column. For the special ranges, which I meant before. Or just be not allowed. This one kinda is invalid address. Because else it can be confused. So because else it could mean like two address ranges or only one address range, which is invalid. And I guess we have to decide what this would mean actually. If these are two address ranges or invalid, or one invalid address range, which read cannot accept. Not sure on this one. Because it if this is not an one address range, then it would mean that for some commands this means something different than for others. Like for this read command, this would mean actually 2 ranges, right? And for the others it would mean 1 range, which is starting with this position and ending with this position. I think I would rather like this to be an invalid address. Should be something like this if we want to pass really multiple address ranges, like 2.3 and 2.5 and so on. So then we could pass multiple ranges, which would mean here it would be not valid for the read command, but for other commands you could pass multiple ranges and execute the command on the multiple ranges. And I don't think this is currently supported, and because this struct here does not have anything where we could even have multiple ranges defined. So that's fine, I guess. If this would mean for the read command that this is an invalid range. So let me see, we're here, x2 command, x read. So we could validate here that this should not be possible. Let's try to do that. We validate here that something like 3.5 is using an invalid address. Because this would mean you need to replace, because this represents an address range and would mean in this context that we need to replace what's in there and read command is not in 10 to replace something. So then we can think about it at a later time. Okay, then let's jump again through all that stuff here. So we do filter. Okay, now we set we did set this operation start and end stuff. Okay, this looks weird. Line 2, why we do read line 2 in there? Okay, let's do this with the debugger and step over. See what we get there. So current path is start and end positions. So start position is 3, 5, and end position is also 3 and 5. Write the shell command in allocated memory. Filter command, okay, do that stuff. Call shell. So we go in here. Let's call shell. Output pointer. Right, output. So let's move on to this here. See what's in the output. And read. It's end read for characters. I just wanted to see if we have character return here. No, so actually we just, I would expect here this be without an N at the end, so without an line break. Wonder why we do have it here. Pointer. So here and here it seems that we kind of add a new line. somewhere. Okay, but I think maybe look later on where the new line comes from. Let's see where the line 2 is coming from. We saw the test. So to breakpoint here. Current line number is there. 3. Okay. Start on 3. So 2, 3. Now 4. So what do we have in output? Start. What's off? 3. Okay. This means we're kind of read the stuff in, and now terminated with a null. And start line. Start and end line numbers are equal. And we have charwise when we do this part here. Let's see what's in the new line. Okay, we did copy something. ML get current line number. What's this current line number? Copy of a line, current buffer. What's the old line? Actually, delete this old line. And 3. Old text. Was line 3. This kind of off by one thing here. Not char index. Cursor line number. New line is already wrong here, so should be wrong here somewhere. Old line. This here. Plus current buffer. Operation and column. Just one. What? Output is ABC text plus put. Old line plus current buffer and column plus. This would be wrong here. If we try concatenate, like this is the start, line 3 plus ABC, and we have line 3 ABC, and then we try to get the rest of the old line, kind of old line plus operation and column, because we know we are on the same end, we are on the same line number, and we can just take the rest of the line and add it to our line 3 ABC. In our case, it's just a new line, but with the +1 here. We override it. I think maybe I have the issue that in some places the end column is inclusive and in some it's not. I would actually prefer it to be inclusive always. Okay, let's start save it here. Yeah, I think it should be, this should be it. No, it's not, for whatever reason. Okay, so I guess there is something. This is not the same. Similar, but not the same. Are there? So again, I was thinking if this is the correct assumption here. Should it look like this if we try to echo ABC with the read here? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's here on the new line. but because we're just reading in, we don't replace the new line, right? We just put this in between. In between the line 3 and the new line character, we put the ABC in between. So the assumption, I think, is right. Then let's do this with debugger again. Now we are here. Output. This is append mean here. This last one, new file. New file true and starting to edit a new file, meaning that the PE old line number will be set for recovery. Length of the new line, including null or zero. Including. Third column. I'm just thinking if I can somehow calculate here if I need this +1 that I had before or not, because I think it depends if we are on the last character, like on the new line character. And if we are inclusive there, we could find it out if we check if the column and of the column. Let's just try this out maybe here for now. So if this is equal ml get length of current buffer the operation and line number +1. Like this. If this is true, then we don't need to do a +1. Right. Boolean consider no like this. Think about this one sec. So if we have this and column is equal length +1, and we don't need, so like this. And let's see if we have still the same output here. Nope. Wait. I messed up here. Let's do it again. Nope. Just try an error here for a sec. Why? Why is that? And is equal 1 be the last character, which is a new line, or null, or 0. So includes new line or line break. Okay, I think it's enough for today. So hope to see you in the next one. We will solve it. Pretty sure of that. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.